Hello, hi, Oli Oli. Valeria here, welcome. I hope everyone has been super well. I had the most amazing time in Queensland, and then we came back and the rains started. So it's been a couple of very rainy weeks, very grey, very sad. And then also work has been super tough these past 2 weeks. But I hope everyone that is watching, if anyone, had better weeks than me. But anyway, I know it's already March. However, the Lolita fashion YouTubers on Facebook had this thing for Valentine's Day that I didn't want to miss out. It's of course about love and Lolita fashion, and so I thought it would be fun to compare my Lolita journey with the stages of a relationship. So let's pretend it's still February and love is still in the air, and let's jump into the video. The honeymoon stage, the one everyone loves. This stage is defined as the initial sweeping romance that consumes couples when they first meet. And boy, was I consumed by Lolita fashion. I discovered Lolita during my last 2 years of high school, so quite a while ago when I was 15, 16. And as a lonely teenager, it became my everything. And the funny thing is that, especially in Latin America during those years, it was super hard to get Lolita pieces. So I first started trying to adapt normie clothes into Lolita, which didn't work. And then decided to employ seamstresses to create the garments for me. But just as in Kamikaze Girls, when Isobe is explaining to Momoko the difficulties of creating Lolita main pieces, they quite didn't understand what I was looking for, so they would make the skirts shorter or less puffy than I wanted, or the sleeve less puffy as well. So it was quite stressful, and they didn't look very well. Needless to say, it was a very extreme Ita phase, and I really wish I had taken my time to prepare my first coats. But of course, I was super excited and really wanted to start wearing the fashion and be part of it. So, as much as I was so in love with Lolita, I remember this stage with a lot of cringe, especially because at the time in the Spanish community, it wasn't only about the fashion. There were lots of talks about the philosophy behind Lolita, Nobala Takemoto's writings, and I was a huge believer of all of that, which is no longer the case. So I was following that maiden sort of philosophy that was around at the time. It is said that in this stage we wake up from the trance of infatuation with a thumb, finding that the qualities that we once found perfect now start to annoy us. And it happened to me that after years of devoting myself to Lolita fashion, I sort of stopped seeing the value in trying to promote Lolita anymore. And all those discussions around the fashion and the community and what you should do to be part of it started to bore me. And in the end, I decided to just step away from the community and just hang out with a couple of friends. I think I have finally started to stop seeing Lolita as something social and very invested in the community, and that's something that you had to do to be part of Lolita fashion. Let's say that everything started to feel a bit too constricted to me, and I found solace in this small group of friends that allow me to enjoy the fashion in a freer way and just not care about much else than the clothes. And thus, the winter season of my relationship with Lolita arrived, and it was a really cold winter season. I had the chance to spend a semester abroad, and that really broadened my horizons. And then reality hit me with the passing of my grandma, and let's say I shut down. But we're not here to talk about my mental health issues, so let's leave that one there. I basically lost interest in a lot of things, and my life basically revolved around my cat, my co-workers as I devoted myself into work, and just very, very, very close friends. And I started to invest more in traveling than in clothes. And basically this was a stage in which I didn't know where I was going with this fashion, if it was something I was enjoying anymore. I was sort of forced to make a decision in which I wanted to do with Lolita when I got engaged with my husband and decided to move to Australia. And I remember sitting in my room looking at all my dresses and finding them still so beautiful and perfect that I just didn't want to part with them. However, due to constrictions with my luggage, I came to the conclusion to only save the items that I really, really, really loved and sold the rest on Lace Market or within the Peruvian community. And that brings us to present time. I'm now 31, so it's been like 16 years. And I feel that I finally found the balance between Lolita and my lifestyle, and I'm really enjoying it. I actually retook that social aspect of the fashion. I joined the Australian Lolita community and the one here in Sydney. And it's very hard to make friends when you are over 30, let alone when you are in a new country. So I really appreciate the people I've been able to meet through the fashion. And I didn't mention it before, but I used to diet and, watch my weight and stuff just to fit into my dresses. And I finally understood that I shouldn't have to fit myself into my garments, but make them fit me. Especially because I finally realized that I'm not going to grow any shorter, not my shoulders are going to go smaller because my bone is right here. All in all, I feel more peaceful and in a loving place with the fashion, and I'm really happy. I've bought heaps of new things, which I thought of talk about in my Lolita Wardrobe 2 videos. And I finally know that I confessed, which I think was my mistake during all those years. I put Lolita first above myself, and that wasn't okay. And that's it. That was really lovely to make. I have all the happy feelings about this. It was quite a journey, but in the end everything worked out for me and Lolita, and we're still together and going strong. Lolita is basically one of the longest and most intense relationships I've experienced during my life. And when I was young, when I first started, I always thought, I'm going to stop wearing this fashion by the time I become 30 because life is going to be in another place. But here we are. I feel that the pandemic really made us all snap out of thinking about age and social conventions and just enjoy ourselves. So I hope this ramble was somewhat interesting, and I'll see you in the next one. Ciao, ciao!